are. Okay, great.
Hello. We're on.
Okay, so yeah, light language.
Yeah.
I want to hear, Eiran, from you, like tell me about your experience with it. I'm really curious what it is because, I'm seeing it more and more, like more and more people are talking about it. I would say 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't think it was really as out there in the open. And I think a lot of people have been experiencing it, but like hiding it because, afraid of being seen as a weirdo.
Well, it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the time, so soul language and soul light language, they're not different as such, but with soul language, is a learning that we use in the Tao. And Tao is not religious or anything; it's a spiritual practice, and it's how I'm a Tao healing hands practitioner. And I'm an advanced practitioner. I'm also a Tao, channeler, soul channeler. But the processes we use to align the soul's language, the soul channels, the spiritual reading channels in the body, really helped me. So soul light language, from my experience, when it's happened, years and years ago, it was more like all of a sudden you could be meditating or chanting, and then you would go into a language that wasn't in, your mother tongue, basically. And, it sounded like you were talking gibberish, which it does. And some people can use it as song. Like I was watching sometimes mine comes out as singing, sometimes it comes out as a chant, sometimes it just comes out as you just experienced it before. Mm-hmm. We were healing our experience because the retrograde was going everywhere, and we're like, let's heal this right now so that we can get live and do what we want to do. And so we when we're channeling at least with the soul light language, it's usually when you're having some kind of spiritual awakening, you're opening your spiritual channels, which are your intuition, your psychic abilities, your knowing channels, your channels that anything to do with your psychic and intuitive abilities. And so and also with the soul awakening, the whole point is you're connecting to your soul. So the soul languages start to feed more through, and what happens is this channel starts to open. So all of a sudden you might be sitting there, and I think I was watching you talk about it, you were spontaneously like, oh, like this happened. I mean, I can't remember my exact experience with it. It was a long time ago, but it was a similar kind of concept. It was like, whether I was chanting or meditating and things, and all of a sudden I'm like, rattling off this language. I was like, oh, is this what they talk about when they're talking about tongue? People talking in tongue.
Yeah.
And that's been around for a long time, but it's also, are they crazy? Is this the crazy thing? Even in our teachings, when we're talking about using it for healing, if somebody is not necessarily, I'm going to use quote unquote spiritual, and not aligned with our teachings or understandings, I necessarily will chant inside, not out. Like I will use soul language, but not
verbally, not spoken out loud, because it would trip people out. That's what I've been doing too. When I give sessions, I hear it silently also.
Yeah. And
so I just let that know that it's working. Yeah.
People with really open spiritual channels, like I have really very open spiritual channels. Like even when I go into classes and trainings in the Tao, it's kind of like, okay, I don't need much help in the area of getting the information. What I found with soul language, it enabled me to talk directly to my soul rather than all these other souls trying to talk to me at the same time, because I am so open. And it kind of gave me this space for myself, within myself, to connect to my own soul. And it was a very different feeling than just channeling soul light. Like when you first channel soul light, you are like, oh, this feels amazing, because it's light consciousness. And that's what we're dealing with essentially. But there's also this experience when you chant your own soul language is this kind of coming home in your heart. And in the Tao, we teach the heart is the message center. So everything gets sent to the heart. So if you have blockages in your heart, in your chi channels, in your soul language channel, in your knowing channels, like that's, everybody has the ability to open. Everybody has the ability to access that soul channel, that soul language. And we use mantra and things like that to activate that and blessings and healings and the work that we do, because to have access to that is so powerful. You know what I mean? Like you're having, you know, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning doing a Tao channeling training again, because it's good just to get in there and be in the fields with other people who are doing it. Hence, like our conversation was like, let's do this together. It's so fun. Like that energy is a different energy than if you're just, you know, jumping on Instagram and having to chant. It's a very different experience because of, you know, there is still an energy exchange. Everybody who sees this live, everybody who watches us on Facebook or YouTube, there's a soul resonance of them arriving, of them coming, of them turning up or watching it later. And so there's this real, I found in my experience, once I came across Tao about 3 years ago, and that's when I did this spiritual trainers training, and then I became a Tao hands practitioner. And Tao healing hands is it's bringing light in exactly the same way, but in a, like it channels through us directed to the place that needs healing. But the spiritual channels do exactly the same thing. So when I chant, it is healing. So I can chant and direct the healing to where the energy either wants to go or someone wants the energy to go. Mm-hmm. And then you can tap in and chant from any soul, anyone who is, you know, like this morning I was chanting with a medicine Buddha, and I was doing soul language and soul messages from a medicine Buddha, and he was talking about how I need to chant with him every day because soul language is my gift. But also with him, he was saying laughter is the best medicine. So you know, no matter what, just get more laughter. And so I had, you know, him sitting in my liver, and the whole energy was just like me sitting there channeling his message to me, which was really beautiful. And so we can do that as well. We can tap into the saints, the Buddhas, the you know, the gurus who are on heaven's side, because we have access in Tao to heaven's teams, we call them. We have shifus, we have all those kind of things. So when we're healing, they're the people who are they're essentially the people doing the healing. We're just the conduit to get it into earth, light into earth, which is exactly what soul light transmissions are. They're like getting that light consciousness into the planet to heal people, to elevate the consciousness, to elevate people's awakenings. And yeah, I deeply like, it's just such a powerful thing. And it's funny that I'm on here because I've been working on unblocking mine a lot more, because we can still always be blocked in sharing, because this is with the voice, like when you are actually using it, there's lots of expression blocks and throat blocks, and you know, like personally my personal experience with that was when I was about 6. I threw up on stage, and so there's a little trauma around expressing yourself. Even though, you know, getting on what people watching on Instagram. So I've been doing a lot of healing around that of recent times. And then also because my spiritual channels are so open and I'm highly sensitive, just working on how to best nurture myself in the experience. And that's what I found with Tao Soul Language, is it gave me protection that I didn't have just out, you know, because when you have open spiritual channels and you're not aware, it's not saying dangerous, but it can affect your health. It can affect the way you are. And because there's a lot more, unfortunately, negative information and we want to bring in more positive. But so finding that aspect for me has been the most powerful for myself, but also for my journey and my purpose to bring soul language out into the world and really share my gifts and, you know, become more aligned with my purpose, because I've, you know, I know you know my journey before, like I've done a lot of different healing modalities, but this is the one that's actually transformed, I want to say, me the most, in the most effective way, where I'm standing in my power while I'm doing it, rather than, you know, walking away drained, walking away saying, oh God, I'm still carrying energy, or I'm still, you know, like that kind of thing. This has really changed my perspective on my gifts, because there was a, you know, they always say the thing that you're here to do in the world, there is a bit of a love-hate relationship with it, because
Yeah.
of the way we have to learn and develop and do that kind of thing. So yes, thank you for asking a question. My long-winded answer.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. The light language, I mean, you said it very succinctly. I feel like, and I had this conversation with another person who does light language, Ken Lloyd, and basically, you know, we sorry, there's a fly. So these modalities that we enter into, right? We start our spiritual awakening, are like, whoa, okay, there's something more, and then we do trainings and we do modalities and so on and so forth. And it, to me, it feels like light language really is so pure, in the sense that it doesn't have, it's not a modality. It doesn't have rules. It's not like, oh, you got to do this and then this and then this and then this. It's just like, boom, it's just so, and it's unique unto you, you know, like there's people that speak, you know, there's infinite number of realms, and yeah, I experience it the same as. So years ago I had an experience. So I, you know, randomly I'll like astral travel and so on. And what was revealed to me in one of my journeys in dream time was this, it was light language, but it didn't have sound, which was so interesting in that realm. It was like light, just really fast and really intense, but it was a language. It was a language that it was communicating something to me. And I woke up from that experience going like, whoa, like what was that? Like that was crazy. And then yeah, and then having the spontaneous, I've never had it happen in my meditation, but when I'm like totally relaxed and about to fall asleep, the first time it happened, it was like, like it just, and I think the reason why it was so intense is because it's been suppressed for so long, and by the old paradigm, by this so-called matrix, which doesn't really exist, but you know, it's like it was like ready to just come out, like it couldn't be suppressed anymore.
Yeah.
um yeah, so the energy is just rising, and so it just comes out, and yeah, so it's a way of translating that light to come through. And even though we experience it here as sound, and you know, we're forming it with our mouths, it's coming from a place of light. And so
Yeah.
yeah, anyway,
When we chant, or I say chant, when we chant soul language, because you can chant mantra, it's not the same. But if you're chanting soul language, it's funny, I was just going to say, you mentioned about that place between wake and asleep, like you're just about to fall asleep. There's this real, it's when the ego is the least. It's like you forget who you are,
mm-hmm.
and there's that you awake it. So that's why it had a chance to awaken. Like often people, like if they say, oh, I fell asleep during the meditation, I'm like, yeah, because that's the soul is getting you to be in the most receiving and like space. And so that space, I love that space between when you just wake up or you're going to sleep, and there's this opportunity to really set your goals and set your day, because it's from intention of spaciousness and nothingness. And so you get to create what you want in the mornings. I often teach that practice. But with the soul language, when we're chanting and because we translate as well. So basically I can chant and then translate, but my channels are very open. So I can like someone else can be doing healing and I can be getting other messages. Like I get portals like opening up with like messages coming through and Buddhas and saints walking in and, you know, all these different things. So it's often for me, it's like this little, oh, let's have a party energy. But the energy is very much like don't have to translate. It's already translated. Some people have that ability that they don't even realize they're translating soul language, but because they're not speaking it. But what you're actually hearing when you are being intuitive and you're getting divine and you're getting, you know, your soul's whisper is the divine language, is the soul language. You just don't know that's what you're listening to. The body and the message center of the heart translates that information, and then we tell our brain to translate it into English or into the language of your mother tongue. So basically, some people don't even realize it's just coming, like that's what used to happen to me, is to just come in and out. Like it just was dropping in, but I didn't realize until I started to chant that I learned, that's what that is. Like, it's like, it just sounded like, oh, this is coming through now. And then, you know, the message would come. Whereas now I'm a lot more intentional. So if I said I want to chant and give a divine source message, I'm literally calling in the divine to use soul language and then chanting that message. Or I'm calling in your soul to chant you, because if a lot of people do have closed spiritual centers, or they're not quite able to get the messages that are right for them, like my ability is I can channel your soul language to you. I did it in a session the other day with a client, and she's just like, oh my God, I feel amazing. I just feel like this. And the messages were just like on point of what she needed to do for her soul's journey, which is basically your human journey, you know? So amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah. Gorgeous.
So my feeling is I don't know if there's anyone on. We had a couple
of
people.
Well, it says there's one person, Monica.
I wasn't sure if that was us. If you're live, say you're here and let us know, because we're going to do some soul readings, some healings. If you've got anything coming up for you, drop it in the chat, because what we're doing is we're using soul language to give you messages, and we might do some healing. Is that, Tania? We can do that with a light language transmission as well. We can do one for the audience in the replay. Mm-hmm. We could do a chant together. That would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, I'm game for whatever. I mean, you know. So yeah, so far no comments. So maybe we just.
What would you like at the moment? What would you feel good about? Would you like a message for you?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a demo. This is a good thing. So you're going to be prepared. Whatever comes out is going to be on the internet. Okay. No, it's just like, right. It's not like we're going to be like, so this is happening. It was interesting before you were talking about it's divine source energy, but what we know is it's the purest form of information that you can get from your soul. And so the translation, you know, is a flow. Like, it's not me. It doesn't come from me. Like, I'm just letting it become words in English after I chant. Mm-hmm. And then, it's basically an option for people to take that and do what they like with. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's then it left me and gets delivered, and you get to experience. So the one thing I say to people is to really just close your eyes and let it yourself receive the blessing, right? Because it's a blessing as well. It's a healing. So it's not just a message channeled. There is healing energy. So if you have something at the moment, I don't know if you have anything in your body, if you've got any pain, or if you've got any kind of, relationship issue, business issue, money issue, we heal lots of stuff. Like, you noticed before I did a healing on, you know, our live was like, well, the times are wrong and this happened and Mercury and retrograde was taking over. So I did a healing, and then all of a sudden it went tunk, 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 and we just like, this is what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So and it recalibrates the energy. So we can, if you have anything, do you have anything that's kind of coming up?
Anything coming up right now? Well, I'm willing to receive. So I have TMJ. It's
Yes.
chronic though. It's
Yeah,
chronic
no,
TMJ.
good.
So let's sorry, and
No,
the
you're like
bothersome
chronic,
fly.
you'll be like, oh my God. So we do chronic conditions, yes. And chronic conditions sometimes need more than one healing.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and, I'd recommend if you're going to jump, if you've got something that's quite chronic, I'm not going to say never, because healing is instant, and healing is instant. So the transmission is instant. It's our hi Stephanie.
Stephanie's
How you
here.
going?
Hey, Stephanie.
Yay! We're just doing a demo on Tania. I'm going to do a soul language blessing and healing. She's got some TMJ issues, so I'm going to do it for that. Now, anyone who listens and watches this back, you will receive some of this blessing as well, because so if you have something that's you can choose the energy just to come to you and receive and get it to go wherever it needs to go, but it's a byproduct. So when I heal, I get healed and you get healed, and everyone around gets a little bit of the excuse me, a little bit of the light, get some of the light. When I focus it in on one person, we're going to do a healing for the group as well. So that will notice the difference in energy and things like that. But noticing how it feels in your body, notice any changes. You may get messages too. So trust that, right? Trust it. Yes, yes, Stephanie, it's going to be good. We might even do one for you directly if you like. So we're going to basically I'm kind of like clearing out energy already, because my soul centers are like, oh, let's just, because we're working on the TMJ area,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling like there's a lot of like, let's just get this out of the air already. Little clogged up energy. It's like, your little critic sitting on your shoulders. Yes, Stephanie, drop in the comments if you've got anything that you would like to heal, or if you've got something. So as I said, Tania's going to do her TMJ, but I'm also doing a channel message from her divine teams or her soul. I'm not going to guarantee who I know is dropping in until it starts, because that changes. So, and I am going to chant out loud just so people can experience what it is, because I'm not afraid of being called crazy, because I'm very, very psychic, and that makes a lot of people not feel great or feel amazing. So, this is for you. Trust, trust, trust. Okay. So I'm just going to call in the heavenly teams, which we called in earlier today. And so we're going to do a Tao Soul language blessing for Tania. I'm just going to turn on a couple of other little treasures. I'm not going to do down healing hands. I'm just going to do soul language, but I'm going to boost her with my soul light transmission balls that I have. So we're going to turn on my soul light, rainbow light balls for soul language. And we'd like a message, and also just healing. We just send some healing energy. We're sending healing for her chronic TMJ. Okay. How, dear daughter Tania, thank you. Thank you for all that you bring to the world. Your light, your shining, bright light is much needed in the consciousness. We welcome you to bring more light to the world. You have the divine access. You should and will be in this energy field for the rest of time. All your future soul lives will include this blessing, and you will have been activated in your own soul channels. Your jaw is locked in defiance from past lifetimes. Everything that is opening is for your greater good and the good of humanity. We wish you all the love, joy, and kindness that you bring to the world. How? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting. I could see all kinds of things happening, and I could feel the energy moving in my jaw. Yeah.
So essentially what we're doing with the Tao, we don't really label it. Like I gave you a message that came through, but the healing is, what we're doing is removing negative information and we're putting positive in place. We just call it information. And the data that is there is not working, so we need to move it out and bring in new data, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a really powerful thing to have experience, and you're very open. So as you said, you could see light and you could feel the energy. If you're watching this and you're listening and you were getting some of that blessing for you, because by the way, if you're listening and a message comes through for someone else and you're hearing it, it may be for you as well. So there's no like, yes, this is for Tania, but there's a wider experience happening in the space. And so the messages can be for other people too. And so thank you for being a demonstration. That was a beautiful experience. And I'm going to be interested to see what happens if we need to do some more on your TMJ or what, but we will.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephanie's asking, can you, she wants some work on her nervous system.
Nervous system. Yes, beautiful, Stephanie, for sure. So do you want to take this one, or do you want me to do it?
Sure. Yeah. Let's take it.
Or we could do a double duet.
Yeah, we could do a double for her. I mean, I think that just I think it's okay for at the same time. I think that
I'm getting,
even though it doesn't, maybe it doesn't, it's not syncing up or the same tone or whatever. I think I'd be really curious to see. I've never done it with two people. It would be really interesting to see what happens when two people are speaking at the same time.
So we do it in group all the time, and we all send healings to each other. So it's like a cross-platform of healing for everybody, for your, what it is that you're desiring to heal. But this one we'll do specifically for Stephanie together. We're going to direct the healing towards her nervous system. And if you have, we'll just go with what the channeling comes through with. If there's a channel message, Stephanie, as well. The thing I'm getting, Stephanie, is the nervous system. Already just take some breaths, because I feel like the diaphragm, there's the breathing needs to open up a little. It's really important when you're receiving, you drink lots of water, but also the breathing, it's like really bringing that energy into the heart space, because that's where you receive ultimately the messages and the light coming through as well. So as much as it goes to your nervous system, it comes through the heart center and spreads out through the body. And there's different points that happen with that too. So it's not just the heart center, but it feels like my message is just to get you like this really opening up this it feels like fire points. Sorry, the I want to say like small intestine, lower intestine. So I'm getting like lots of fire energy in your body. That's sometimes with Tao they'll give us Chinese medicine information, you know, like around the energy. So it's almost telling me like this is before we even start, just like even in your energy field, like when you're sitting, Stephanie, just really rubbing this point, just when you're at home over the next couple of weeks, just really rubbing this point so that it moves the energy for you, because it feels very tight. So let us begin. Anything for you, Tania, before we start?
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, I felt water, like being in water, immersing yourself completely underwater. And I think you said, I know you say you live in San Diego, if I'm right. So I don't know if you spend time in the ocean water, but that would be really, really good for your nervous system.
So if you jump on as well, Stephanie, it's probably in my bio, but if it's not, just jump into my DMs later and I will give you a link to my women's abundance activation, because it's in the water. You practice it in the water. So it's if you're not near water, besides the shower, you can use the shower. I use the shower to cleanse. I put some basil oil and cleanse in the shower like I'm in the waterfalls, and I have them, you know, churning over the top of me. But that women's abundance activation is all about cleansing, and it's in the water, so it's really powerful. And there's blessings in that too. So I'll share that with you. But we're going to start with your blessing now. I'm laughing at the fact that we've got the water and the fire.
Yeah.
So it's like the energy is trying to compete.
Yeah.
with each other. So let's go. Do Tao Soul language. If you need to do invocation, Tania, let me know.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to direct the energy. We're going to call in the soul of Stephanie. I'm going to go with Pearl is your surname, but we'll just go with Stephanie. And we're calling the energies, the heavens teams, your soul, the soul of your nervous system, because with the Tao, we have everything has a soul, and we call in the soul and we asking the nervous system, please join us. You have the ability to heal and transform. Please join us. How? Begin.
Kariyata kariyana kotokera manai katorina takariyata kurun chukutorin tikata kutukuri tikari kutukun tikatari tukuru chapta takarita karina tukutukun chikatara tukurun chukutara tukurun chikutan pakaranu la ka nyukurum kotori tikatari tukun chikata ashakush ana uish na kush pata isichata ka ishukuta ashu Chamia kratari smukuchitea mukotea utochia takarita kurun chata Maniana karena kulo shipiak paparias nukushia Lakran moi ala oishinai guru mai kira mai sukui. Namaraya sakalala shikui. Okay, there's a lot.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. It's not coming out of sound for me at this point. It's just light.
Yeah. Ushana karunu koyena kariyana kurushuko to koyitikiran makadika takrinsko. Ushana kariyana karayana koreana mushikatarian to kurmaya tikitama asata ta.
Hani chikini tuku atia matuku atitia na tikia tono ho atia mo hoia katia na kototo iatia tikandu hani titia takono tuku ma chitiki atia na tatita momo mahitiki ni tatakadono no chitiki ni na hani chikiti na nakatono no hiana kotoya fani atita mo na tichia kanania mo honi atete kanana tichia to mo hariati ka noto aiti ala lo e fe kanyate a shana tiki mo hania chikini na no ahia fona kania to e tan ala hitia Hone te tia momo ke nia chitia momo hei ana ki ana tatoia hei lele moia ki nia chitina hania mo hania chika nia toia ka nia taka moa te ke dia chano o ki atia momo ki atia mo. Hania tukai chi taka no haya mo hanai. How? Dear Stephanie, this is Mother Earth. We welcome you to the planet. Your earthling body would like you to see more ground. You spend many time in air. It's floating around. Grounding practices will be good. Make sure that your feet are planted firmly on the ground. This blessing has started at your base chakra. We are grounding you into the earth, grounding right down into the earth, where you will attach to your own life crystal. Join us. Be here. Be present. Walk the earth in your space that is allocated for you in human form. Own the space. Be the space. Have the experiences of life. Unfolding deeply. Grounding. Grounding. Joyously grounding. How?
Yeah, and I'm also seeing that, you know, your electromagnetic field is just really bombarded. So I'm just asking the heavenly realms, the guides, ascended masters to just help clear any interference that's in electromagnetics, to just kind of bring it down a notch. The grounding, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing in that peace. Yeah.
Our pleasure, Stephanie. How do you feel? Lots of grounding for you. Water, releasing anger, grounding. Grounding. Be here on the planet. I love that message. Your message was so just divine. It was just so beautiful. Karma. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how long. Oh, we've got a bit more time because we didn't start at 9 o'clock because of Mercury in retrograde. So is anyone else on live who would like to, who has something going on for themselves, they want to receive a reading or a blessing? Yes, thank you. I'm going to heart you. I'm hearting you, Stephanie. I'm so glad you feel calmer.
Yeah.
Beautiful. There's a couple of people on live. If you're alive, we're doing soul healing, soul readings. If you have any issues that you want to address, it doesn't have to be a body issue. It can be relationships. It can be business. There's many, many ways that this can help and support you along the way. And if not, Tania and I are going to end with a beautiful blessing together for anyone who watches the replay and makes it to this point in the recording to receive it. So because we know social people jump in on and off. If you're not watching the full thing, this blessing is for someone who's here and watching this part of the replay. Right. We're very specific. So if you are here and you're watching the replay and you would have something that you want to bring, you can bring your finances, you can bring a bodily thing, an energetic, energy system. So you could do your chi channel, you could do a relationship I've recently been clearing a lot of energy around a soul partner. We can do things like that as well. So there's many ways that you can use this work. And Tanya and I, we're both on opposite sides of the world, which I love, and yet we've come together through synchronicity and soul resonance for sure, to share this with you all together. And we wish you, you know, this blessing is for you and the healing. If you are watching the replay, comment, put in the comments what it is that you are wanting the blessing for, because it's really important that the message is out in the world so that it can be included. So you need to put what you're wanting to put in the healing in the comments of the recording, and then also commenting if you feel anything. If you don't feel anything, remember that is completely okay as well. Know that in just trusting that it's doing the work for you in the background, yeah. Even if you're not, you know, energetically inclined to feel things and for things to happen in that way. So Stephanie, if you're still on, you're going to get a second blessing if you choose, because it's anyone who's on the call now and anyone who's watching the replay. It's a one-time blessing. So yeah, it's not coming back and watching it again and again, because that's not how it works. but blessings to you in this one-time blessing as appropriate as well. Okay. Do you want to do anything? Do you want to begin this one, Tanya?
Sure. I'll start with, I feel drawn to do some toning.
Mm-hmm. Kiano tua ya kania tata, tua kania tatoe takia tatakania tia, huna tia kania chikanoe tia kania tawe takania takoe tia, hania tia kanandoe takania tia hania chikanoe kedia nia tiotoe, hania tia kanoe takania takania takoe takalia, monia tia takanoe chitia. Hoi kania tataya taya nia kania tatoya moya chita kania tataya taloya takania tatoya hanya tikia takole chita takadia netua taya takania.
Tatakaria karayan kaya ya la kulishikia. Tatarakel karutu kuchaka takuchika takrintikia. Chikatarin no kuto kutin kitakaran tuku. Shkarana mari sakarare no ko ai ikyara ka ai kyatana kuiti tia kete. Yakarana tiatara kushukon. Tukranaka hus shataramicha.
Hanya tia toata. Yan tia no ho tia moe haya lia toe hania kia toe moki chia tania la boya kania takalea tode a fonia tikia ta moe. How? Dearest ladies, welcome. Women, welcome. We send this message from the greater consciousness. We are so deeply grateful for your arrival here to elevate your consciousness, to heal your bodies, to welcome in the financial blessings of your birthrights, to build the wealth for women on the planet, to build the abundance, to expand the consciousness of the divine unions, be brilliant and take all your messages out into the world. You are here to shine, 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 shine. Take up space. Be the woman you came here to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Gong song, gong song, gong song. All souls respectfully return. Thank you very much for watching our live. Comment below if you, when you've received this blessing and this message, if it resonates with you and how you feel. We'd love to hear from you, Tania and I. And if you're looking for us out in the world, we're obviously on our Instagram pages, we are on Facebook. And if you'd like to work with either of us further, we would be deeply joyous to do that because we love doing this work.
Yeah, that was amazing. I really felt this spiraling energy really spinning fast coming up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a collective. That's why it was really interesting because when I was channeling, I was like, no, like, because we, you know, we're still human, so we have to. I can feel myself trying to move it into my heart space, but I think that's part of the collective, like moving all the energy for the people who are watching the replay into their heart space, because the message was for everybody. So it was like, what do they need to hear? But there were so many, so it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. It was amazing. I love this so much. Thank you, Erin.
We're going to jump over onto Facebook now, and so if you want to come over there, we will be there as well.
Yep. All right. Ciao.
Thank you. Have a good one.